why tipping should be mandatory. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and thought, do I leave 15%? Do I leave 20%? Oh my gosh, how much do I leave? How do I do the calculation? Where's my cell phone? Well, I'm going to tell you the importance that tipping has on the service industry and the impact that your tip has when you leave it for your server. So are you the type of person that likes to tip to show off, or do you tip to show your disapproval? Either way, the average American will eat out 4.2 times a week, 18.2 meals a month, and spend approximately $2,000 a year on dining out. And this is according to the Simple Dollar founder, Trent Ham. So as someone who enjoys eating out, I can tell you I like to tip to show off. The U.S. Department of Labor only requires an employer of a tipped employee to pay a wage of $2.13 per hour if that amount, combined with the amount they make in tips, equal the federal minimum wage. Now let's think about that. $2.13 an hour in some states is a wage that someone is making right now. So first I want to discuss the benefits of tipping and supplementing someone's salary. From there, I want to dive into making tipping mandatory, eliminating the power imbalance, and creating equality for all diverse people. And then last, I want to share with you a social media influence trend called Tip the Bill Challenge. It's safe to say that in our lifetime, we're all going to eat out at some point. But how much do you leave behind? What do you tip? Despite that mandatory minimum wage requirements, it's legal for servers to be paid less than that, and this is in a category known as the tipped minimum. This means the employer is allowed to pay their employee the difference of tips and their amount earned, as we kind of talked about earlier. This is allowed. It's in that tipped minimum category. So what we as the customer don't realize is what our tip goes towards. So it's not just to supplement, first of all, that difference that they're losing in the wage. And it's not just going to the server, it's going to the team behind the server. So the tip that we leave on the table is going to that busser. It's going to the kitchen staff. That tip is going for the dishwasher. This tip that you leave impacts this entire team. So again, why should tipping be mandatory? I know what some of you are thinking. Don't add an automatic gratuity to my bill because I'm getting what I paid for, and whatever I decide to leave for gratuity is up to me. It shouldn't be required. But did you know that making tipping mandatory, it's going to eliminate any confusion and miscalculations on our side of leaving that tip behind. And I can tell you, if you think that by not leaving a tip, it's your choice and that you can do whatever you want, but I can tell you that Jay Porter, a former restaurant owner, wrote in the Washington Post that once he instilled an 18% gratuity service charge automatically to his bills, it didn't affect the customers at all. In fact, the quality of the food increased, the service increased, and the overall customer satisfaction increased as well. He was proof that making tipping mandatory actually works. So studies show that by setting that automatic fixed rate gratuity, it's going to create an environment that is equal for all diverse groups. Have you ever sat at a table and judged your server based on gender? Maybe they were a woman, maybe they were a transgender person. I can tell you that at some point, we all base our tip on some sort of bias. Making tipping mandatory eliminates that bias. It's going to take away that power imbalance for all diverse groups and equal the playing field for everyone. The last thing I want to discuss is the social media influence trend called Tip the Bill Challenge. Here's an example.
Have you seen the Tip the Bill challenge on social media? It encourages you to leave a 100% tip on your bill. So if your dinner is $50, you leave a $50 tip. We've seen pictures of bills posted by servers all over the country. Right now, Glassdoor estimates servers earn about $20,000 a year.
As you can see, social media trends like this went viral quickly. This started back in 2018 and made such an impact on the service industry around the world. Servers were posting pictures with the receipt with the hashtag #TipTheBill. I'm sure you've seen it out there. So in closing, we discussed the impact that leaving your tip has on the service industry and bringing that wage gap closer together. We also talked about making tipping mandatory, putting that automatic gratuity inside the bill, and we talked about the social media influence trend called Tip the Bill. So remember, making tipping mandatory will have a lasting impact on the server and the team behind the server, eliminating diversity. So I challenge you, the next time that you go out, be the person that tips to show off.